The newest Jacksonville Jaguars getting a taste of what Sundays in the fall may feel like with rookie minicamp taking place at TIAA Bank Field. Welcome to Action Sports Jax Primetime. I'm Stuart Weber. The level of intensity, well, it's different, but there's something about being inside an NFL stadium. Competition. That is what mini camps like this are all about. The vast majority of the guys on the field this afternoon, well, they're not going to be on the 53-man roster come September 11th for the season opener at Washington, but that's not going to stop them from giving it everything they have in front of NFL coaches. Opportunities in this league are hard to come by, and using this opportunity to show what you have is a common theme among all the players participating at the bank this weekend.
Yeah, 1,000%. I see plays and I'm like, oh, I've done that. I know what it is. Just a different name and just getting the terminology down. And obviously, it's way more complex than anything we did at Kentucky. But at the core, it's very similar, and it's nice to fall back on.
Finally, man. I mean, this is the longest I've been without being on the field and being with the team. I think the last time I played was like our Rose Bowl. So it's not like being with the team and being on the field, getting the film in, correcting your mistakes from the film. So. Feels amazing to be back finally, and I'm just looking to get better every day.
Some notes from the rookie mini camp. One more day on the field tomorrow before they wrap on this mini camp season, but it won't be a long break. Right back to work on the 23rd, but this time with the full squad as off-season training activities officially begin. In the meanwhile, you can bet these guys are going to be hitting the books, not trigonometry, the playbook. There's a lot to learn for the young guys. That is the case whether you're a tryout player or a #1 overall pick like Travon Walker. In fact, Walker may have a lot of the playbook to peruse when you consider his ability to play a few positions on that defensive front. The Georgia Bulldog is impressive to look at in person. He is a huge dude, and to talk more on number 44, our resident UGA expert, Marcel Robinson.
We got our first look at the first-year players for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but of all the participants on the field, let's be honest, the first overall pick, Trayvon Walker, attracted all of the attention. We all locked in to see if there was any indication of where the Jaguars plan to place him on defense. Is he an outside linebacker, a defensive end, both?
So far, I'm an outside linebacker with Coach Shue, but who knows what the future holds. The more comfortable I get with the defense, you never know.
Walker spent most of Friday's practice with outside linebackers coach Bill Shuey. Could that be one of the indicators that we're so desperately searching for? Sure, but for Walker, he's looking at it as an opportunity to tighten up some skills that he may not have worked on to that degree.
I always kind of dibbled and dabbled in the outside linebacker world, but just strictly working on outside linebacker things in practice, I feel like I'm truly get more comfortable with the position, learn a lot more techniques coming from that position and not have to learn so many different other positions. There's always room for improvement. Coming from Georgia, there was a lot of techniques that we went over, but once I got here, break down a lot of those techniques that I learned at Georgia and just put them into a family and focus on that one thing.
The former Georgia Bulldog spent time as a pass rusher at the University of Georgia, but also dropped into coverage during the Bulldogs' national championship winning season. So we know that he's capable of both, and versatility certainly isn't a bad thing. Whether he's pinning his ears back to get after opposing quarterbacks or clogging up the second level and the flats, as long as he makes plays, this team and fan base should be pretty happy. In the studio, Marcel Robinson, Action Sports Jax.
Thank you, Marcel. Don't forget, you can go follow Marcel Robinson on the Twitters. Go join Mr. Robinson's neighborhood at Marcel A.S. Jax. Go give him a follow for all of our local sports content. Good stuff there. So earlier this week, it finally happened. We finally had the release of the Jacksonville Jaguars 2022 schedule. Look, we already knew all the teams they were going to play, but we can finally kind of put it in order and say, you know what? This isn't bad. We can make this work. It's the offseason. We have optimism. It's what we do every single year. But you start the year with Carson Wentz and the Washington Commanders. You feel okay about that. Remember how we ended last season against Carson Wentz and the then Indianapolis Colts, who will come back to Jacksonville in week 2 for the home opener and try to break that curse they've had recently. You got the Doug Peterson revenge game against his former team, the Philadelphia Eagles, there in week 4 up in Philly. I'm sure the fans will probably welcome him nicely because he brought them a Super Bowl. Maybe not the Jaguars because it's Philly. A couple division matchups, Texans, Colts, then the Giants. And let's get to this London game because once again, the Jacksonville Jaguars are playing in London on a specific week. That week would be Florida-Georgia week. And they do this on purpose, right? The team wants to get away from everything going on down at the stadium during the course of the week when the world's largest outdoor cocktail party is in town. And the best way to do that is by fleeing the country and going all the way over to London. Of course, this year it's going to be against the Broncos and their new quarterback, Russell Wilson. That is an intriguing matchup. Wilson against the only rookie quarterback to ever win in London, Trevor Lawrence. We'll be excited to see that one in action. Now, here's a little change because normally right after that London game, you see a bye week. Not the case this year. In fact, the team, when asked about it this week, said they didn't request it right after the game. They requested it somewhere after the game along the way. And there you see it over there in week 11, the week before Thanksgiving. So the Jaguars are going to take that bye week a little bit later in the season than normal. The good news is right after the game in London, they do come right back to Jacksonville and get a chance to play in a home game. But normally you expect that bye week. 10 international games or teams this year playing in international games. Only 3 of them have the bye right afterwards. So a lot of the teams in the NFL going through the same thing as the Jaguars this season. As we kind of continue our way through this rest of the season, Chiefs, that's tough. Ravens, that's tough. Lions, fun. Okay, let's get to our one and only primetime game for the entire season. The battle of the former top picks, the number 1 and the number 2 from a year ago. Those big-time quarterbacks, Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. Thursday night, December 22nd. The one prime time, it's a Thursday nighter because of course it is. Jaguars haven't played on Monday Night Football since 2011, Sunday Night Football since 2008. It's been a second. Both of those before I even got here, and that's a decade. So that kind of tells you how long it's been since they've been on some of the premier primetime games. But a chance to right the wrong from a year ago and get a win over Wilson up in New York. And the good news is everybody has the weekend off for Christmas. So hooray. Good job. And then we'll find out that last game, whether it's on Saturday or Sunday, 7th or 8th, to be determined. So playing in primetime, nothing new for Buster Brown. The ball hawking corner coming off a career at Arkansas under the bright lights of the Southeastern Conference. The NFL, it's a different beast. The rookie catches up with Mark Martineau about that adjustment, his athletic history, and where the name Buster comes from.
Man, it feels good, just adjusting to the weather and getting to Florida. I've been waiting for this opportunity, so it's finally here.
Does it hit you at all in these last couple of days that you're in the NFL? You signed your contract, all that stuff. I mean, has there been a moment like, okay, here we are?
It hit me the first day, but, after the first day, you just got to get past that. You just got to get ready to put in work. So you can't really just think about it too much. I just thought about the one day, and I just put it to rest and just get ready to work.
Would you be here if you never transitioned to corner? Do you think you would have made it to the NFL as a safety?
I feel like I would have. Yeah, I would have been in the same position, so it would not matter.
How glad are you that you're playing corner, though? I mean, is it a better fit for you, and was that the right move?
I could do anything, so just playing corner, competing every day, competing every snap, it's nothing like it. Like, everybody cannot do that, so I'm just happy to play corner.
Where did you take off? Like, where did you know going into Arkansas, like, hey, I got a chance to play in the NFL someday? Or was there some time in your collegiate career like, okay, you had a very productive career, obviously. So was there some time like, hey, I'm going to keep playing football after this?
Growing up, I was a baseball player, and then I started playing football in middle school, and then towards high school, like my sophomore year, took off for me, and I just stuck with it, and that's when I knew I can make something in football.
All right, so bring you over to the Shrimp and throw a little batting practice. Can you hit it out of there or what?
Oh, yeah, I can definitely hit it, no doubt. No doubt, man.
We can get you over here and throw the first pitch out or something.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
Where did Buster come from?
My grandma gave me that name as a kid, and it just stuck with me as a kid. And everybody loves the name. It's some old shoes called Buster Brown shoes. So people love that and always tell me about the shoes and every time they hear my name. So it's a great name.
Is it better being a defensive player when your name's Buster?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It sticks with you. Everybody loves it. They say it on TV. They don't say my real name, so it feels good to be called that.
What's the family call you? And does anybody call you Montero?
No, not really. Not really. Some people, but mostly Buster.
We have not seen this. I know you guys are just getting a glimpse of this defense, but we don't know. I mean, there's a new defense coordinator, new system. Some of the stuff that you see, will you acclimate easily? Do you like what the playbook looks like?
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of similar to Arkansas, so, I'm just transitioning to this defense, and just putting it in my Arkansas terminology and switching it to Jaguar terminology, so it's kind of similar to Arkansas. So I love the defense. It's meant to make plays, so you'll see later on.
All right, ESPN 690, of course, the place you can catch a lot of Jaguars talk all year long, Monday to Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Brent Martineau bringing you all the Jacksonville Jaguars talk on 690. And don't forget all the social media channels as well, where you can follow along.
Action Sports Jax Primetime, Saturday at 10:30 on Fox 30.